Hi, besties. Thank you for joining me again so soon after my most recent episode. And if you did not catch it, I just did, we'll call it an emergency episode on the entirety of the Kyle and Mauricio. We're going to say separation because even though People magazine exclusively put out that on July 3rd that Kyle and Mauricio were very sadly separated, Kyle and Mauricio later that day put out separate statements saying that they were absolutely not divorcing, which, hey, play on words, friends, play on words. But go check out that episode if you want to know what's going on. More is going to be coming out. And it was a tough episode to do because there were so many rumors and there was so much history. It was so different from covering Scandal and things like that. And, as a content creator and doing this, you really feel like you're always walking this weird fine line of caring too much and doing too much, and then not caring enough about the right things and not doing enough with the right things. And so I'm doing my best, and I try to be, when it comes to something like that, I don't know, kind of unbiased, but I'm not very good at being unbiased. Y'all know I have opinions. I do, which also one of them, y'all. Guess what? All of the women on New Jersey are coming back. It's official today. I think it's season 14. They are going to start filming next month in August. Melissa Gorga is coming back. I'm so sorry, tree stumps. I'm cool with tree huggers, but tree stumps, listen, eat shit. Oh, whoops. I'm sorry. I mean, you're fine. And also on top, when we take it a little further, looks like Jackie Goldschneider may have been promoted from friend of to full-time housewife, and all of the same girls are coming back. Jen Aiden, Delo, we've got Danielle Cabral. Oh my god, my brain just like completely short-circuited. Rachel Fuda, sorry, wow. Margaret Josephs, all of them. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know how they're going to do it because also, unfortunately, on top of that, that's going to mean Louis also is coming back. Yeah. Should I just jump into the show that we find like super fun? Okay. And before I do, can I please beg y'all to just like leave me a little review if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or any of those, other little things, and subscribe on YouTube. I'm doing my best here to just deliver. And sadly, podcasters live and die on reviews and subscriptions. So thank you for listening. Okay, I'm jumping into it. We pick back up from where we left off last week. For you to denigrate my career is not only anti-female, it is so incredibly rude. Taylor ends up calling Tamara out. Thank you for saying that Heather hasn't done anything since the 1900s. And Tamara denies it, which, listen, my friends, y'all know I love a shady editor. And guess what? We got a shady editor who had really great receipts. And with that, we got to see that Tamara absolutely said, oh my God, she hasn't done anything since the late 1900s. And Taylor said, well, late 1990s. 1900s, batch. I mean, I guess that's technically correct, but also like not. Okay, so then everyone's trying to figure out exactly how to say IMDb. Now, I'm glad they brought this up because I heard so many people saying IMDb. It is IMDb. Internet Movie Database. You heard it right. There you go. My favorite was when Shannon was like, STFU. Let's use those letters and shut the fuck up. I love Shannon this season, okay? She is kooky, but she is also so grounded. Isn't it like kind of refreshing to get this side of Shannon? Like the kooky, grounded, but also fun. I'm loving it, okay? So Taylor says to Heather, I mean this genuinely, that I don't want to have a problem with you. And Tamara tells Heather when they go into the bathroom that Taylor pulled up her IMDb at dinner. Tamara's drunk. It was lunch. And Heather asks Tamara if she said anything rude. And we see the flashback of Tamara scrolling, being like, one episode. So let me just clarify what the one episode. That means Heather got a bunch of guest star roles, which actually are very, very difficult to get because as small as the pool is of actors for starring roles and supporting roles, they're the smaller the role, the bigger the pool is. Does that make any sense? So it took a lot to get up to that tier of being a supporting and then to being a starring role, but you had to start from a gigantic sea before you could get to the lake of supporting and then the pond of star roles. Does that make sense? So it's a little it's getting shitty. And I know last week I was saying I was pissed at Heather because I thought she was being really rude to Taylor about it, and I still agree with my own assessment of that. However, I don't think these women, well, actually, I know these women have no absolute effing idea what goes into being an actor. So it's like, it was really shitty. Okay. That's all there is to it. And Tamara's full of shit. Yeah. Because Heather goes, so you didn't say anything shady. No, I didn't. And in confessional, sadly, Heather says, Tamara and I have always been supportive of each other's career endeavors, and she knows how important my career is to me. So if I were to find out she's lying, that would be very disappointing. Listen, I would never want Heather Page Kent Dubrow to be disappointed in me. But I'm sure I've disappointed her at some point in my mind because she has no effing idea who I am. Okay, so they go back to the house. And they are shit-canned drunk, which is fun. You know, this group is fun when they're drunk, okay? And Tamara's saying to Shannon, hey, Shannon Bedar, I fucking love you. I didn't love you 2 years ago, but I fucking love you. And she's throwing gummy bears at Heather and Shannon. And she was supposed to be throwing the gummy bears at Heather for her to catch in her mouth, which she didn't because she was throwing them in large quantities. And Tamara asks Shannon if they're good, and Shannon says yes, and so they kiss. Oh my God, because it wouldn't be Tamara if she didn't do some sort of like weird sexual act that she had no actual intent in. And so they kiss, and then they kiss again, and Shannon thinks she's going to be cute and funny by sticking her tongue out while Tamara kisses her. And so Tamara freaks the ever-loving F out and chases her up the stairs where Shannon is yelling, I'm running to get my recipe. You're what? What? What recipe? Listen, I love it. Your friend group. Absolutely. Like if you're on a girls' trip or just like a trip in general, there absolutely positively needs to be that friend who will cook for you all when they're drunk. And it will be like that delicious, like alternative to Taco Bell. And I am a girl who loves a drunk Taco Bell order. Okay. It is. And this is something that I will live and I will also die by, that everyone has their own unique Taco Bell order. If you are single and you are dating, or if you're just trying to get to know a friend, ask them what their Taco Bell order is. If they don't have a Taco Bell order, run. I'm going to tell you oh my God, this feels so intimate. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, besties, my Taco Bell order. This is going to also be disgusting because I also order a lot because I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to like fucking do it. And this one of them is the same thing that I have ordered since I was like 7 years old. This one part. It is a bean burrito with beans and cheese only, so no red sauce or onions. Then what you do is you get a side of nacho cheese, not nachos, just a side of nacho cheese. You get some hot sauce and some mild sauce, and you mix all that together. Because they don't have the medium sauce anymore, obviously. You have to get cinnamon twists. Now, something else is that you have to get the chicken quesadilla, and you want to get it with extra of the extra creamy jalapeno sauce. And then you want to see if you can get it well done, like extra crispy, because the sauce is going to make it a little soggy if you don't get it a little extra crispy. And then you need to get a cheesy gordita crunch. I mean, obviously with no lettuce, because at this point I'm eating Taco Bell. Why am I going to eat rabbit food with it? You know what I'm saying? Okay, and it's not just one bean burrito. It's 2 bean burritos that I get. So that's my whole order. And when I tell you that is a big order, I'm always proud of myself when I only get like the quesadilla or cheesy gordita crunch. But listen, sometimes if I didn't get the chance to eat dinner before going out, I am going to be ravenous. You know what, Taco Bell? I expect a sponsorship after this, because if y'all aren't wanting some Taco Bell, I don't know what, we'll do it. So anyhow, Tamra, excuse me, is yelling at Shannon, I'm going to puck you in your wiener. I kind of feel like that's something I would yell at someone while I'm drunk, but anywho. And so they tackle each other on the stairs landing, and it's just a whole mixture of Shannon going, "Whoo, ah, oh, ah, ah, ooh, ah, 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 ooh." Now I'm a monkey. And Tamara being like, "Bitch, I fucking love you. I'm gonna fucking force my friendship back on you." And it's like a whole mess thing. And apparently Shannon has seen that emoji underwear thong far too many times. What's interesting, though, to me, is in confessional, because you see Heather kind of laughing at them from the kitchen. In confessional, Heather says, I love that Tamara and Shannon are getting along, but I hope that doesn't make me odd man out. Now, okay, I think a lot of people may disagree with me on this. However, Heather saying this one thing in confessional humanized her more than anything to me. It really did, because I know that feel. We all know that feeling, even when we were like in elementary school, okay? Now, it took me to the next point where I was like, oh, no, wait, it's Heather. Because I think it's more so that she, well, felt like it might change the power dynamic in the group if Shannon and Tamara are all besties and having fun and loving on each other again, and Heather will be, well, odd man out. And we see later on in this episode, she really gives it a go, trying to be the Tamara Shannon of it all. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So Tamara and Shannon are still acting nuts on the stairs. And then we get to, Shannon saying in confessional, when I'm around Tamara and we're having fun, I can literally get sucked right back in like nothing has happened in the last 2.5 years. But for now, I think it's good for both of us to remember how important we are in each other's lives. And then Heather is doing a very rare act for a Heather Dubrow that we are seeing in the wild. She is cleaning up gummy bears off of the floor in the kitchen. Normally she has people for that. Or like probably a robot vacuum. Then robot, come in, clean this up. Don't want Terry to fuck up another knee. And then we go to Gina, Taylor, and Jen. They're gathering in the bunkhouse living room. And Gina and Jen are playing with the ropes. And Jen tells Taylor that she thinks Tamara, that she should ask Tamara head on and just basically be like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, so I'm seeing some very deep underlying tension between Jen and Tamara. And, I think it has to do with what Tamara is about to reveal. And it doesn't make sense to me that Tamara felt so strongly about it. I'm going to be honest. It's a little weird. And I don't know, if it were my friend, I probably would have gone about this in a whole entirely different way. But that's just me. So Taylor asks Gina and Jen, do you think she was just dishing on me in the bathroom so she got the upper hand on it? And we see the flashback again of Tamara telling Heather in the bathroom, she said you were dismissive, you patted her on the head, left the script on the table, and you were like, mwah, mwah, oh, you're so cute. And Gina points out that it seems like Taylor is taking most of the heat when she didn't really do or say anything wrong. And I agree, but that's what makes Tamara Judge a fantastic housewife. And I don't care what anyone says. Tamara is earning her paycheck, and I am loving it. Okay? So then Taylor says in confessional, what are we, in first grade with little girls have to run off to the bathroom and have a conversation? It makes me judge Tamara in a different light. Oh, look at you. An accidental play on words? Taylor. So Tamara, and Shannon are taking more shots of tequila. And Tamara chases her tequila with champagne. Oh my God. Oh. And Shannon tells them, Jen said that if she drinks, she'll puke. And Shannon said, well, welcome to the club. I'll hold your hair. So Tamara says that Jen was very pro-Taylor and points to Shannon. And she says, you were pro-Taylor too. And Shannon says, I try to see both sides. She has her own issues of being new and being insecure in her new business. So I have empathy for her in that regard. Jen also is super insecure, super insecure. And Tamara brings up that when they were at the boot barn, how, Tamara was saying to Heather that people don't know a whole lot about Jen because Jen doesn't really give a whole lot about her life. And there's just, I don't know, she just doesn't know. Most people don't know a lot about her. And how Jen was like, I don't really feel like anybody wants to know about my life. And, how then also Heather tells Shannon about how Jen told them Ryan has never been faithful to anyone. And Tamara says, she said Ryan cheated on her. And Heather goes, she did? No. She said they were on a break like Ross and Rachel. Heather is just so glad she is just cool enough to know the references, my young, hip fellow young people. And, she explains that he hooked up with a girl that Tamara knew. And Tamara says, she called me and she goes, so he cheated on me. And I said, I know. And then I go, then why the fuck are you staying with him? And we cut over to Jen FaceTiming Ryan. And how interesting, you can't see him at all. Or if he's in bed with someone else, you can't see any of it. Jen's like, I can only see if you have a white t-shirt on. It's so dark. What? Mm-hmm. And we cut back over to Tamara saying, he's known as the town whore. My friend Heather, not Heather Dubrow, but Heather Amin, I believe is what she said her name was. My friend Heather, she told me he walked in my gym and pointed at me and said, I'm gonna fuck her. And Heather goes, Ryan said that? And Tamara goes, yeah. And Heather goes, no, you're not. She's married to Eddie. They own this gym. And he goes, yeah, I am. Watch. I'm going to fuck her. And Shannon asks, how many months later were they together? 2. Dun, dun, dun. And Shannon's, in confessional saying I wonder if she knows. And if it were me, I'm just tearing up. It would destroy me. I mean, Okay. So the next morning, they're up. And when I tell you that looks like a fresh form of hell, I am never going to be interested in waking up from yet. Oh, man. I'm sure I'll do it to myself again at some point. Tamara's drinking Alka-Seltzer. Woo, child, the way that just gave me shivers. I mean, y'all, she was chasing the tequila shots with champagne. Ooh. And the editors show us that she took, at least on camera, 8 shots of tequila. When I tell you I would have been dead, I would have been dead. We see Gina's on the phone with Emily, and Emily's very upset to not be in Montana because she grew up on 12 acres and she rode horses, and this was her thing. And in confessional, after Gina has explained to Emily what went on with Tamara and Heather and Taylor, Emily's like, based upon past experience, it doesn't surprise me that Tamara would throw somebody under the bus to save herself and then back up with that bus and, paint it with their name on the side, pour gasoline, light it on fire, put it on fire, blow it up, and put a magic spell on it to make sure everyone forgets that she ever even heard of buses or public transportation. I may have paraphrased. Tamara tells them all that they're going to be living like real cowgirls, and we get a flash of Tamara sitting and talking to her, homophobic shithead son, Ryan, who, wow, it's really interesting. Working on a ranch in Southern California, you develop a Southern accent. Wow, that is fascinating to me. I guess horses must talk in a Southern accent too, because that's who he must be talking to all the time. Glad to see he's well. Keep him off my TV. But Tamara says it's like my dream to own a ranch and have animals. I could totally live that laid back lifestyle. It's I kind of believe she could, but also at the same time, I don't. The horses would eat your extensions. If they didn't, the sheep or goats absolutely would, for sure. So they go on their activities, and Tamara basically divides the ladies up between the animals and like the field work, is what we'll say. Heather, Jen, and Gina get animals, which honestly, that's what I would have wanted to. And they're told they have to shovel horse shit out of Ryan in disguise, number one. Tamara's child. There's so many Ryans. Why are there so many freaking Ryans on this show? Tamara's son, Ryan, in disguise, number one, because I'm just going to believe that every white man on this property with a beard is Ryan in disguise. They go ride the horses. And in confessional, Heather says, I've had enough shit from Taylor. I can shovel it. She's really just trying. Heather's like, I want the slow and tired one. And she's being told she's doing a great job saddling the horse. I'm good with accessories. Oh, good one, Heather. Take me on your private jet. Anyway, Gina's horse, oh my God, this actually did scare me, okay? Aside from what we know happened to Lisa Vanderpump getting very seriously hurt, we know you need to be very, very cautious and careful around horses. And Gina's horse starts freaking the ever-loving God out. And Gina has just had some shit luck with animals on this show. Remember the shark? When they were in... Listen, she keeps saying she's from New York, but I really feel like she's from like Staten Island. But, you know, it's like seeing the Staten Island girl freaking out over a horse and freaking out over a freaking shark. I'd freak out over. It doesn't matter if the shark's the size of my forearm. I'd freak out too. Okay, I can't make fun of her for it. Then Shannon, Tamara, and Taylor are all going to be driving a tractor. Shannon's going first, and Ryan in disguise number two is explaining to her how to put the brake on, and you have to pull the clutch first. I believe he said pull clutch. I have no effing idea what he was talking about. I can't drive a stick shift. In fact, if someone asked me to drive a stick shift, from what I'll make it sound like I kind of know what I'm talking about. I think I would lose the transmission within the first 5 minutes. Drop it behind me. Isn't that what they say? Isn't it? Anyway, so Shannon says in her confessional that she's confident in driving the tractor because, well, she didn't grow up on a ranch, but she grew up on property, rich as fuck. But, you know, even after she was explained all this, Shannon forgot about the clutch. Oh, Shannon. And she hits a random big old bale of hay. And we cut back to Heather on her horse. Let me try and park it myself. Honestly, it was very Heather, and that did crack me up. The ranch hand asks Gina, Heather, and Jen who wants to rope and learn to rope and who wants to go shovel horse shit. Well, Jen immediately says she wants to go learn how to rope. And this is where Jen's still learning, clearly. Heather and Gina say they're going to go shovel shit because those two know it will make for good TV and better TV than the two of them learning how to rope. Heather knows what she's doing, and Gina desperately needs that orange because I'm going to remind you, besties, that Gina was still going to be a friend of at this point. Did you know that? Did you remember that? Yeah. She didn't earn that orange until the end of the season, so I'm interested to see what old Gina Kirschenheider, Casita Gina, did to earn that orange back. Sorry, I'm just adjusting for a second here. I start sitting on my feet and they go to sleep because I'm for some reason I'm known like amongst my friends who've known me for a very long time that I can't just sit down on a sofa, in a chair, on a chair. I have to sit on my foot. Is it a medical condition? I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. So much. And I did appreciate, though, that Jen says, I am from Oklahoma, but I've never done this crap. Same, babe. I've ridden a horse one time in my life. And although I've said this before, I would like to try again. I am slightly terrified because I had some asshole, like, backcountry kid in this, like, corral trying to spook my horse. And I was like, first of all, my mother has told me over and over and over and over, think about what happened to Christopher Reeve. If your mother did not tell you that, like, constantly, couldn't have been just mine. And rest in peace, Christopher Reeve. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we go back to Heather and Gina shoveling shit. And in confessional, Gina says, Heather shoveling shit is truly a gift to us all. You're welcome. And then Heather says, okay, I know I'm fancy pants. At least give me a Chanel shovel. Does Chanel make a shovel? Can I at least have a Gucci logo on it, a diamond, a rhinestone? I'll even take the cheap shit like some gold on it if you'll just give it to me without the chipped paint. Make it fancy for fancy pants. Well, Heather's really getting into shoveling that shit. And so we go back over to Shannon and Tamara and Taylor. And Shannon brings up to Tamara the information about that Tamara revealed the night before about Ryan, Jen's Ryan. Not Ryan from last season, not that Jen's Ryan, but this Jen with two N's, Ryan. Yeah. Saying to their mutual friend Heather that he was going to bang her. And really, it was making Shannon tear up about it. I think she's imagining if she found out that John said that about Tamara or one of her friends. Which, yeah, fuck you, Ryan. I think he's a scuzzball. I think listen, Jen, run. I'm not saying you need to go be with Will. It sounds like you were not happy. Go be with someone who, I don't know, only wants to be with you because that's what you want. You want monogamy. This man is not going to give you monogamy. Oh, Jesus Christ. If you get married to him, which, come on, friends. If you get married to him, though, for the ever-loving God above, get a fantastic prenup that has an infidelity clause. Do it for yourself. Ryan. We don't have good luck with Ryans on this show now, do we? Gina and Heather are still shoveling that shit, and Gina says, speaking of shoveling shit under the rug, and she brings up the IMDb stuff and how it didn't seem to her like Taylor was really taking that many shots, but it was Tamara and how Tamara was the one who said that about her last working in the late 1900s. And Heather says that she asked Tamara point blank, and Tamara said that she did not say it. And in confessional, Gina brings up how Heather had told her that she didn't feel like she was being a good friend to Heather, and that this is her trying to be a good friend by telling her who Tamara is, and that Tamara was talking shit about her, and about Gina, and about Emily, and this is her pattern. And, then she does say, big facts, besties, which is, why are we pretending Tamara is a saint and not capable of this kind of bullshit? Also, that conversation between Heather and Gina was 5 weeks ago. Y'all, Scandal concluded 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago. Okay, coming back. We're good. And essentially Heather just tells her, look, I just want to let it go. I want this trip to distract me from my children going off to college. And they leave it at that. I thank you, editors, again, for all of the women in their respective cars freaking the ever-loving hell out over a random bug being in their car. That's me. If there's a bee or a wasp in there, I am screaming kidnapping, fire, homicide. That is what is happening. I know we need to save the bees. Save them away from me. Please, for the love of God. Okay, now I have to tell you guys like a really quick story. The other day I took my son to the pool. And when I did, oh my God, this is the type of shit that happens to me all the time in real life. I just want you to know that. And when I took him to the pool and my son is turning 2 next week, oh my God. Okay, I need to take a breath. Don't cry, Caitlin. Oh my God. So anyway, I took him to the pool. And there were these, I think they're baby yellow jackets. That's all I can describe them as. And they're hovering around, and there was this other couple there, and the mom with her son who was, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe 14 months old. And listen, my child is very small. He was not small when he was born. He was my little chunker, but now, I don't know, he's a little hellion. He's tiny. And anyway, we were kind of talking about how, oh my gosh, yeah, I know, mine's tiny and yours he's a cute little butterball. And I was like, get these baby yellow jackets away from me. I don't like them. I don't, And the mom is like, the other mom's going like, oh, well, let's save the bees. I mean, the bees are very important. I was like, great, you can save them. I'm totally down with saving them. Let's just like, I want these bees as far away from me as possible. Okay. Like save the bees, but fuck the bees at the same time. You know what I mean? And she doesn't laugh. And I was like, oh, geez, I couldn't even get an awkward chuckle out of her. I look back up at her and her hat literally says save the bees. Y'all, why am I like this? I don't know. My therapist can't tell me why I'm like this. I have no, somebody help. Um, Jesus. So they all go to lunch, and the lunch starts out with Gina, Jen, and Heather. And they're talking about the horse incident with Gina and, how you have to be an alpha and, loosen the reins, even though you wanted to grip them more and all of that, right? And Gina brings up that she's glad she and Jen are bunking together and how she's been struggling with what happened with Jen and her marriage. I'm going to say something for like the 5 millionth time, but I'm sorry. I must have missed that scene where Jen personally attacked Gina with her own life. I missed it somewhere because my God, Gina, you can be triggered, but this is out of control. This episode, get a goddamn grip. Go get you need more therapy. I understand being triggered, but you're in a new relationship with a man that you seem to love and respect. In fact, from what we understand, you got married to Travis. So what the hell are you doing being so goddamn triggered? Let it go. Let it go. I have been cheated on before. I wasn't cheated on my last relationship, but I have been cheated on before multiple times. And you don't see me being triggered like to this extent. My God. Sorry, I know. Don't even come at me with the Scandival shit where everybody cheats is what I'm saying. No, you motherfuckers, it's different. And if I have to explain that to you again, I'm going to have my eyeballs plucked out. In fact, I'm not even going to have to do it. They will pop out of my head, roll on this desk. Okay. I am intense today, aren't I? I swear I took my ADHD medication. Maybe I'm triggered by the fact that my baby's turning 2 next week and I'm throwing his birthday party this weekend. Do you want to know the theme? Okay. Thanks for asking. I'm going to tell you what the theme is. My baby is obsessed with Elvis Presley music. He loves it. Loves Elvis music. And he loves music so much, like he will even try to play the guitar. He will sing. And I know everyone's like, oh my God, every baby loves music. Not y'all. This kid, he loves Elvis, Motown, it's the Sam Cooke type of thing, okay? So anyway, his birthday theme is 2 suede shoes. And I'm trying to keep it together. How the fuck is he 2 years old? Okay, anyway. So Heather gets up and we see that Tamara and Taylor and Shannon have pulled up. And Tamara walks up like, I need food. I need water. We've been standing for so long. And Heather looks at Tamara. And Heather, if anyone is triggered, it's Heather Paige Kent Dubrow. And Heather says, I have literally been shoveling shit in a trailer. This is the worst fucking trip ever. And you are never, ever planning another trip again. I'm burning all my clothes. And she starts straddling Tamara like, oh, look, I can be fun and kooky in a sexual way that I don't actually mean or intend to follow through with. And then Heather tells Tamara that she thinks that they should go in because they are talking, as in Gina and Jen, are talking about Jen's past. And Tamara says, no way, I'm not doing that. So Heather goes back in. And how interesting the way Tamara was like, fuck that. I'm not talking anything about it. Was it because she was afraid she was going to be called out for what she said about Ryan telling their mutual friend Heather Amin or whatever that he was going to bang her? Or what? What was it? So Jen says to Gina, and you know what? I am going to say this right now. I think the way Jen handled this was chef's kiss. Yes, girl. You listen. That was I would call it like highly therapized in her answer. Jen says to Gina, um, and she says, I'm sure my situation is uncomfortable for you, and I'm sorry for that. I will also say it doesn't define who I am. My past and my path may not make sense, but it's not my job to make you feel good about it. Damn, Jen. Yes, girl. That was a great response. Gina says she appreciates Jen's view on it and whatnot, but she finds inconsistencies in the things that Jen says. And Jen's kind of like, what inconsistencies are you talking about? Well, Tamara knows you the best, and she's just always alluding to the fact that there's more to your story than you're letting on. And Heather tells Jen, yeah, she's gleaning that from Tamara too. And Gina tells Jen that Tamara has said Jen has a strange relationship with the truth. But the flashback we get of the conversation between Tamara and Gina really is only showing Tamara telling Gina that Jen has inconsistencies. Again, that's the word in her stories, but not any of the language where she said there is a specific like issue with Jen's relationship with the truth. So, okay. And Jen's like, why would my friend Tamara say I have a strange relationship with the truth? That makes me feel like she thinks I'm lying. And then in confessional, Jen's saying that the only reason she knows these women, which is true, it's because of Tamara. And it's not too terribly cool that she's going behind her back to all of them like she's new to this group, obviously. So Tamara is just the only way she knows them. And talking shit's not exactly going to help her make her way through it and figure out, who's genuine and how to do this. And what's interesting is I personally also think that Tamara is more focused on getting on Shannon's good side again. Because, on the boat, she was all about saying to Jen, do you see what I'm talking about? This is exactly what I'm talking about in regards to Shannon and how she disregarded Jen's story and made it about herself and whatnot, right? So now it's all about making Jen look kind of like a monster and getting on Shannon's good side. Isn't that interesting how her priorities did shift? Gina starts getting quite emotional. And Jen tells her basically, look, I can go to bed at night and be okay with who I am. But that also she really did love Will, and she gets emotional as well. Gina, this is not your fucking marriage. God, like, why are you trying to get her so goddamn riled up over your husband's affair? It's not the same. God, it all sucks, but it's not the same. So stupid. I'm sorry. But I mean, Gina's trying to pull the Housewives 101 where she's saying, like, look, your marriage that has nothing to do with what happened in my relationship, I'm going to make that my problem and my storyline for the whole season. Right. And Jen says to her, I've done something that tore your heart and soul up. My means of getting from point A to point B were fucked up, but it is where I am, and I am okay with who I am. I just fucking adore you, and, you coming to me and telling me about something that means so much to you, and that was so raw and hurts so bad, and I just want to say thank you. Tamara, on the other hand, that's fucked up, and she and I will have a conversation. Get her, girl. Why do I feel like we're going to have another barefoot Tamara running through the halls? Which, speaking of, wasn't the reason that Tamara flipped the ever-loving hell out when the ladies were in, like, Mexico? Wasn't it because Lizzie said that in a game of Marry, F, Kill that they were playing, Eddie said he would F Lizzie? And Tamara said, you will never see my face again, and ran down the hall barefoot. So we cut over to Emily and Shane, which obviously this scene did not happen around that time because Emily's extensions are darker. And, well, I thought she had COVID, or at least tested positive for it. Annabelle did sign with the agency at LA Casting, LA Models, and Emily thinks the professionalism will be good for her this time in her life. And you know what? I freaking love Annabelle because they call her their feral child. Like, they picked her up in the woods, and we get like these scenes of Annabelle just being wild as hell. Listen, Annabelle, get them. I love it. Okay, I love it. That is how pretty girls get good personalities, is by being crazy kids like that. Don't stifle that, okay? I love it. And of course, Shane is trying to question Emily on being dedicated to Annabelle's modeling career. Like, shut up, Shane. I'm sorry. But anyway, we learned Emily modeled when she was in law school, and hot thing. My goodness. And then I guess like Shane had a show on Cox Cable. Oh my God, Cox Cable. Emily says that Annabelle is like 90% Emily or 90% me and 10% Shane. Except when she's a jerk. That's when she's 100% Shane. Emily's funny. I'm sorry. I think she is. She just is. Okay. And then, meanwhile, back on the ranch, Tamara FaceTimes the ladies about packing an overnight bag and that if she were to have told them that they would be camping out overnight, they wouldn't have come. So she goes to tell Shannon, pack your estrogen cream, bitch. My estrogen cream? And she goes to tell Heather to pack an overnight bag. Is there going to be air conditioning? There's going to be lots of champagne. Okay. So Shannon asks Tamara to talk with her, and she tells her she's having fun and loves the way they're communicating, and brings up, though, how she was a little confused at first, and we see flashbacks of everything Tamara said about her. The way she was going around to the podcasts and talking to the press. And yeah, I wish the biggest mistake I ever made was defending Shannon Bedar. And then we get also lots of flashbacks of them having fun together, like them streaking. Remember that 70s party where they were like confronting Kelly about her cheating or something, alleged cheating, and she with her husband Rick, and she's like, no, her new husband is Rick. I just forgot her old husband's name. Anyway, and she was going, who? She was like that owl. And then Tamara and Shannon came streaking in outfits with like bushes and danglings hanging out. But the two women have a really sweet and tearful heart-to-heart, and Tamara apologizes for talking to the press. I never should have spoken to the press. And Shannon says she owns her part in their issues, and they're tearful and hug, and all is good. And Tamara says in her confessional that, I thought the friendship had been over, and that she, just forget about it and move on. And I mean, that's now, I remember how much I love her and Shannon's family. And she's my sister, the one that I never wanted. Thanks, Tam Tam. So they go camping. Obviously, no one is thrilled to be camping, and I will reconfirm that no, I never went camping once when I lived in Oklahoma. In fact, I did not go camping until I was over the age of 25 in California, and I have only been camping twice, and no thank you again. Sorry, wish I could be nature girl. I cannot. I can't. But they divide up for their tents and who is cooking what meal. So the ranch hand, which, listen, let's give a slow, happy clap for our ranch hands. Yes, ladies, you brought a little extra something for us, okay? And the ranch hands tell them that Tamara's group, that they will be making seared bison tenderloin with red wine sauce. And Tamara goes, wait, we're eating bison? Is that buffalo? Yes. And then Jen goes, is there a fish option? Well, lucky for you, that's what the other group is making. But they're making trout, and it's the whole entire goddamn fish. I can't. I am one bad PETA video away from becoming a vegetarian. Leave me alone with the shit. Oh my God, but Taylor is in the fish group, and she names the fish Luli. Cute, Caitlin. Taylor names the fish Louie. Even I was afraid to do it because I think we should all be very careful using that name because Jesus, H. Mary, and Joseph, they go nuts. I think they have things searching for their names. Hey, fuck you, Louie. You're ruining a show that I'm not talking about right now. But they did have a lot in common. Louie and this fish, actually, they have that pouty face, like the raised eyebrows. I really need Botox. Oh my God. Friends, when you see me on YouTube and I can't lift my eyebrows, I'm going to say in about a month, you're going to know why. So the girls, Tamara and Heather and them are playing around roping each other, and Heather ropes Tamara's arm holding the champagne, and she's like, I'll add that to my IMDb. Add it to your special skills. So the never before seen shows Jen requesting to oh god, I would do the same. Requesting to have the head of her fish removed. I'm sorry. I give me shit all you want. I don't fucking care. I don't want to see my food fucking staring at me. The F-bombs were bad this episode. I apologize. Jen wants the head of her fish removed, and the ranch hand says they have to keep the head on to cook it because they'll know it's done when the eyeballs turn white and they pop. I wouldn't survive the zombie apocalypse, would I? Like, why does this shit make me so crazy? I really would like to think that I would be like that badass bitch who would survive the apocalypse and like be able to go to battle like that. But like, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Tamara goes to pee outside the tent. And also, okay, because this is such a highbrow show here, who are these women who can just squat and pee without getting pee everywhere? We can't aim. Even before I had children, I could not. No. You're welcome for that information. And Taylor, and this is again never before seen, Taylor is talking to a very good looking, young, strapping ranch hand, and they're discussing parts of Montana where she has family, like nieces and nephews in Bozeman. And he says he went to college in Bozeman, and she goes, "You're probably their age." And he goes, "I'm 25. And she just starts cracking up. She's like, "Of course you are." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "I could be your mother. And Heather could definitely be your mother." Oh, oh. And then this motherfucker says, "I think all you could be my mom." Sir, it is not that kind of show. Number one, even if they put the unrated Peacock version, it is not that kind of show. Get a grip. You are very attractive, but you are very dumb, young man. And Heather is so because she heard Taylor say this, that Heather could definitely be your mom. And she's sitting there next to Gina and she goes, "Did you hear that? Did you hear? That is so rude." She loves the rude word. And Gina yells out, "I could not be your mom." And she's, again, talking about how rude that she found that. So we go over to Tamara and Taylor and Gina and I believe Jen are standing there. And Shannon, I'm sorry. Not Jen. Jen is with Heather. Tamara asks Taylor if she feels that they were making fun of Heather's career at all, ever. "I know we've been drinking, but I don't really feel like we were." And Taylor says, "What I would say is that I think there's a chance that we were being sarcastic. I hear there's a lot of chatter saying that we were making fun of her." And Tamara says that Gina is who was saying that they were making fun of Heather. And Gina brings up that Taylor said Tamara was the one who said the 1900s thing about Heather. And Heather and Jen are listening in on it all. And Tamara says to Gina, "Why are you involving yourself in this when you weren't even there?" "Because I'm checking on my friend like friends should do." "Oh, okay, Gina. Goodbye. Go away." Gina's like, "I'm not going away." And Tamara is yelling at her, "You're inserting yourself in something that has nothing to do with you." And the thing is, Tamara's really pissed when her top lip curls back on either side and she gets a hissy face, like hiss. Okay, because Tamara is the one who gets a little feral when she's real angry. I love feral Tamara. I love the feral Tammy Sue, so please do not. And I'm going to remind y'all, Gina is inserting herself because she's trying to get her orange back. Her orange back. Excuse me. Heather and Jen walk up and Gina asks Heather if she thinks she was inserting herself when she was checking on her today. And Heather goes, "Checking on me is good, but you were kind of saying there's a pattern and there's a thing." And Gina's denying that. And she's said, Heather's like, "Well, I don't remember verbatim what was said." So in confessional, Gina says, "I'm pissed. It's like this bitch. I'm trying to be a friend to you and then you chuck me under." At this point, I honestly think maybe Heather's not even from New York. First of all, now Heather is going to be angry. Now we're going to get the finger wag with the "how rude. You do not even anyone from the East Coast, you do not insinuate." It's someone like New Jersey, New York, and Texas. People from California are like, oh my God, you don't think I'm from here? That's amazing. People from New Jersey, what, you don't think I'm from here? And you think I'm not from here? Like, I mean, it is like, you don't do it. But Texas also. Listen here, buddy. I am from this great state of Texas. Why am I going off on this tangent? Okay, anyway, sorry. I just thought it was like a low blow. Oh my God. And then Tamara's like, well, I didn't know that you were trying to stab me in the back. And Gina's like, I wasn't. And the two female ranch hands are off to the side. And they're like, well, this is fun. Could really use that bottle of wine now. Oh my God. I love it. Love it. When they have commentary from people that are not involved, like service people, anyone, like that's that. I'm not into Below Deck. Y'all know that. But that's that Below Deck early Vanderpump Rules shit that we loved. Like, remember that episode of Vanderpump Rules when we got the crossover, one of the two crossovers from Beverly Hills, and they were fighting at Pump, and it was Stassi and Kristen, like standing, Kristen, or was it Katie? I can't remember, standing in the doorway to the kitchen being like, I hate rich people and stuff. That is the shit I love, okay? We want that commentary, and that's what Below Deck is to me as well. But then Jen says, if you're talking about the pattern, that was my lunch, what we talked about today. And then Tamara just at Jen, pattern of what? You and I, Tamara, I would have your back always, but to not have mine or to fuel the fire of my mess or my life. And Tamara basically is saying she doesn't know what Jen is talking about. And Taylor is saying it's about Jen's relationship. And Tamara says to Jen that maybe she does have a strange relationship with the truth. Oh my God. And then the ranch hands, again, thank you for cutting to them because this was hysterical. While they're all like, oh my God. The ranch hands are like, do you want to go break up that shit show? And the other one's like, not really. So like, well, the food's ready. I guess we could taste it. Got to taste it to make sure it's okay. And then Tamara goes, I think I have some resentment built up. Why? Tamara, why would you have resentment built up against Jen over this? Explain yourself, woman. Anyway, I think I have some resentment built up because when Ryan walked into my gym for the very first time, he looked at me and he said, I'm going to fuck her. And then Jen asks a very fantastic question, which is, well, why have we not had this conversation? Because it's kind of disgusting and my husband doesn't know. And Taylor adds, and you didn't want to hurt her? Which tells me otherwise as Tamara is glaring at Jen with her hand on her hip, okay? As if Jen did something here. And Gina says in confessional, so I'm a shit star for advising my friend Heather about bad things you said, but this isn't being a bad friend to Jen. Outing it in front of everybody. You're a great friend, Tamara. Yeah, listen. Tamara as a friend is not exactly the highest on my list. Do I think she's fun to be around? I would assume so. But, jeez, man. So Tamara is saying, how would you feel if you had to be quiet and have to play nice to like the fair guy? Like, I don't even know what the fuck she was saying. And Jen's like, you never had to keep anything quiet. Will knew. I'm the one who went home and told Will. And then Tamara yells at Jen, well, shut up to a parking lot and cut you two. Jen's like, what? You are so wrong, and that's not even right. I had opened up my business. We had an opening party, and Will was there, but he didn't stay very long, and he left. Ryan had gone to dinner with some friends and said, where are you? I have a gift for you. I leave. Ryan gives me a gift. And at this point, believe it or not, it does not matter to me. I had never even held Ryan's hand. Never. And Gina, are you fucking kidding me with this? It's still really shitty. And Jen says, it's still really shitty. And Heather says, emotional affairs are worse, I think. Okay, listen, Gina. Heather is only trying to get on your side because she's seeing that Tamara is only caring about mending things with Shannon. So give me a break. And Jen says to Gina, I said I was going to be sensitive to you, but I have to say it. So that night, I said, I am done. And Shannon brings up that you don't just leave your whole family over a what if when she has 5 children. And why would she walk away from that marriage unless she knows she had a connection or not? She's like, I'm sorry, but why? And Gina, there should be no emotional connections made when you're married. Shannon says, I'm not advocating for infidelity. I'm not, but I understand your perspective that if you would walk away from a family of 5. And again, Gina, I am still trying to find the moment that Jen actually, took Matt's hand and said, here, go have an affair and go cheat on Gina. And when Jen said, oh, affairs are okay to have, emotional, physical, otherwise. I would also like to know, Gina, when Jen also helped Matt, get that felony that he so rightfully earned. Get the fuck off your high horse, man. Jesus, are you kidding me? Would you, the one mistake you made, do you want people giving you shit about your DUI? I think it's deplorable when people give you that much shit about it, Gina. I'm telling you, that's a fact. That's how I feel about it. I think it's disgusting. You made a mistake and you've moved on. You're not even drinking anymore. So how would you feel if after being so apologetic about it and trying to turn your life around and trying to move on and be a better person, people kept throwing that shit in your face the way you are? You're being an asshole. Or let me tell you in the New York way, you're being an asshole. Jeez, I don't even know what accent that was. That was probably not even New York. And Gina says to her, but you did walk away. You took a gift from a guy in a car. You walked away from your marriage. I'm sorry. This is why I cannot do this. And she, again, walks off acting as though Jen is the one who broke up her goddamn marriage. And then Heather, again, because now she needs Gina at least. I'm sorry, but if my husband did that to me, I'd feel the same fucking way, 1,000%. So they continue shaming this woman, and I don't agree with what she did. But my God. And Shannon points out, that she thinks she's not triggered by the situation because she's in a much better place after experiencing the infidelity she did. And she's pretty much grateful for where she is now without David Bedore. And ma'am, I too am so grateful for you to be without David Bedore. Fuck David Bedore. Fuck David Bedore. Why is his name a tongue twister? Now I'm going to start blushing because that was kind of embarrassing. Gina's having a panic attack, I guess, and she tries to call Travis. And Heather takes the phone, and she's telling Travis, she's fine. We're all good. She'll call you back in a minute. And Travis is literally just kind of like, okay, I absolutely do not give a flying fuck whatsoever. Just call me if she's dead. Okay, bye. I mean, genuinely, Travis, emotions, they exist. So they climb in the truck, and Gina is having a full-on mother effing meltdown. And they both just keep saying, it's not okay. It's not okay. None of this is okay. And Tamara asks Jen, pulls her aside. She's like, the bottom line is that I'm worried about you leaving your family for Ryan. I just don't want him to fucking cheat on you. I don't want to be fucking cheated on. I don't want him to cheat on you. Meanwhile, Taylor is having to cut off Shannon's rodeo belt buckle because she has to pee and she can't get out of the jeans. Listen, that is a panic attack that is earned because y'all, I told you, Shannon said she had a terrible UTI from hell the week before. That is sheer terror on Shannon's face, okay? And it is earned. All right. So Tamara says to Jen, I know a lot. And Jen's like, if there's something you need to tell me. And Tamara tells Jen that Ryan sent their mutual friend, Heather Amin, a dick pic. If any man, you send me something like that, this is the thing. I am quite capable of this. Trust me. I will find out who your mother is if she's no longer alive. I will find the female equivalent. If there's not a mother figure in your life, I will find the most embarrassing female equivalent, and I will send it to them. And then you both have to look each other in the eyes for the rest of your lives. Don't do it. Ew. Get a grip. So anyway, Tamara tells Jen that, and Jen's like, I was there. We were on a plane facing each other, and it was like in his contacts, he only had like 4 people, his kids and me, Heather, and whatever, and he hit Heather. So he meant to send that dick pic to you? Yeah, we were on, yeah. But if you're together, why is he sending you a dick pic if you're together? It's a good question. He was just being funny. So in confessional, Tamara's like, I think Jen is covering up for Ryan. And honestly, great question too, Tamara. What 45-year-old douchebag is sending dick pics? This man clearly is mentally a 19-year-old douche. We've seen it. The way he acts, he is an immature little. Oh my God. I'll let you know how I feel about him once I figure it out. And so Tamara asks Jen, do you know what it said? And Jen goes, yeah. It said like, hi. And Tamara's like, no. And Jen says, it said like, it was like me and my limp dick miss you. Ew. It was limp too. Oh my God. Ew. I hate this shit. Ew. Ew. And in confessional, Jen says Ryan has never been able to commit to someone and that she doesn't judge him on how he used to live and that she appreciates that he shows up in their relationship and is faithful to her. But she also has those moments where she's like, fuck. I hope he doesn't do that to me too. So eventually, Tamara says she loves her and she wants to move forward, and so does Jen. And then we cut over to Heather and Gina. And Heather actually gives Gina some sound advice, which is she shouldn't be talking to Travis about this issue. And she has some work she needs to do in therapy. Because she's like also saying to Gina, Travis is your boyfriend. He's not your therapist. Correct. And she's worried Gina having these issues about the infidelity could really make Travis question the relationship. And I think she is asking the right questions and saying the right things. So that's the episode, my friends. I listened to the Two T's in a Pod podcast, and Tamara said this season is so juicy. Oh my God. And I am inclined to believe her. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I'm the crazy one. Check out bestiesbybravo.com. 15% off if you used besties15. The merch I made. You can also check out Etsy and leave a review, subscribe. I love y'all so much. Thank you for joining me. I'm thinking about maybe trying to do kind of like a roundup of Bravo news each week and then just covering like one Bravo show. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Send me a DM. Also, welcome to Threads. Gosh, that was a big thing that happened yesterday. Anywho, yesterday, depending on when I release this, that happened on Wednesday. All right, my friends, leave me a 4 to 5 star review. 5 star, please, if you like me at all. I swear it literally does nothing bad for you to leave me the 5 star review. Anyway, see you next week.